Sometimes an invisible crack forms between two people. No one notices, but the heart feels it. Nights lengthen, words grow heavy, smiles become hollow. And even as we look at the person we love, we begin to feel alone. An inexplicable pain grows inside us, like a truth we both know and ignore. And when that truth finally reveals itself, the heart both breaks and awakens. Because sometimes the greatest silence is the most painful cry. Landon was chopping onions in the kitchen when his phone vibrated. I was working on my laptop in the living room when I heard the vibration. Normally I ignored such things. But this time, something was different. The sound was like an internal alarm bell. My love, you got a message on your phone. I called out towards the kitchen. Okay, baby? Can you check? My hands are wet. Landon replied. His voice was so natural, so innocent. But I got up anyway. I don't know why, but I had this weird feeling. You know, sometimes your body senses things before you do. That was it. I picked up his phone from the coffee table. There was no lock screen because we trusted each other at home. Or so I thought. When I saw the message, the world started to shift from under my feet. I miss you, Landon. Can I see you tonight? Posted by Sienna. Sienna, that just a coworker Sienna that Landon refers to from his office. The Sienna he calls very professional. The Sienna he calls we only see each other in project meetings. My hands started shaking, but strangely, not from anger. My mind was working so clearly that I surprised myself. 7 years of marriage flashed before my eyes. Those meetings that lasted late into the night. Him going to the bathroom with his phone. His new cologne brand in recent months. Him starting a gym. Him buying new shirts. I wasn't stupid. I just didn't want to see it. Who wrote it? Landon called from the kitchen. There was not a hint of concern in his voice, as if this were just another ordinary moment. That's when I decided. I could have asked him directly. I could have yelled. I could have cried. I could have made a big deal. But I chose not to. Because if something was really going on, I wanted to drown him in his lies and traps. My fingers touched a message box. I wrote, "Come. My wife is not at home. Send." My heart was pounding wildly, but I had a smile on my face. My hands were still shaking, but my mind was as cold as ice. I put the phone back on the coffee table and walked back into the living room. I sat back down at my laptop as if nothing had happened. It was someone from work. It's no big deal. I called out. My voice was so calm I couldn't even believe it myself. Okay, love. Thanks, Landon said, still in that innocent tone, still with that perfect husband mask. 15 minutes passed. I sat in the living room, staring at the screen but seeing nothing. My only thought was, will it come? Will it really come? Then my phone vibrated again. I got up and picked it up again. Are you serious? I'm leaving now. I'll be there in 20 minutes. It felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. So something really was going on. So she was truly betraying me. And worse, that woman had no hesitation. When I said, my wife isn't home, she didn't even hesitate. I put her phone down. I put my hands on my knees and took a deep breath. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to scream. I just wanted justice. I walked into the kitchen. Landon was still cooking. He was making tomato sauce. He was making my favorite dish, spaghetti. How ironic. While he was making me a special meal, he was texting another woman. How long will it take? My love, I asked. My voice sounded normal, surprisingly normal. Betrayal often doesn't come all at once. It begins with small signs. It's hidden in the concealment of a message, the fleeting glance, the insincerity of a smile. First, a person blames themselves, thinking, maybe I'm exaggerating, but the heart is infallible. It always knows what it feels. When the truth comes out, it hurts, but it also liberates. Because everyone who doesn't deserve it eventually reveals their own truth. Maybe half an hour. Why? Are you hungry? He said, turning to look at me. There was love in his eyes. Or so I thought. Maybe it was all a game. No, I'm just curious, I said and smiled. I'm going to go out to the balcony to get some air. Okay, baby. I didn't go out onto the balcony. I went back into the living room. I watched the street from the window. He said 20 minutes. So, he was coming. He was really coming. To my house. To my house. I checked the time. It was 7:42 p.m., The sun had set. The streetlights were on. Cars were coming and going. An ordinary evening. But for me, it was a turning point in my life. 10 minutes passed. Landon was humming in the kitchen. What song was it? Oh yes, our wedding song. How sad. A perfect marriage. A perfect lie. 15 minutes had passed. My heart was beating so fast my chest hurt. But my face was calm. I had my hands clasped. I waited. Then I saw it. A black sports car slowed down. It was looking for a parking space. It stopped right in front of our house. The door opened. Long legs, high heels, a tight dress, blonde hair, a face covered in makeup. Sienna. He had come. He had really come. She got out of the car. She looked around. She checked her phone. She was checking the address. Then she started walking towards our house, swaying her hips. She was so confident, as if she thought coming to another woman's house to meet another woman's husband was the most natural thing. He reached for our doorbell. Ding dong. I'll open it. I yelled immediately. My voice came out too fast, too suddenly. Landon called from the kitchen. Okay, my love. I walked to the door. My hand knocked. I took a deep breath. I opened the door, and there she stood. Sienna, a big smile on her face. Her perfume reached my nose. Heavy, westernized. Her lips were red. Her eyes were sparkling. But that smile froze when he saw me. His face went chalk white. His eyes widened in shock. Hello, Sienna, I said. My voice was colder than ice. Welcome. I'm Landon's wife. I don't think we've met. His mouth opened. No sound came out. He stepped back. But I stepped forward too. What happened? Don't you have the courage to come? I said. My wife isn't home, right? I said. My voice was starting to rise. I was losing control. You missed her. She wanted you to come in. He began to stutter, his voice trembling. Just WHED. I shouted. I had no control anymore. You just came to sleep with a married man? You just came to destroy my marriage? There were noises from the kitchen, footsteps. Landon was running. What's happening? He shouted, coming into the living room. Then he saw the door. He saw Sienna. He saw me. And his face. Oh God. His face. All the color drained from it. His eyes widened. His mouth opened. He froze as if I'd dropped the glass I was holding. Landon, Sienna said, shivering. You said. You said what? I screamed. I couldn't stay calm anymore. You said my wife is not home. You are cooking special meal for me. Our favorite meal is in that kitchen right now, and you're texting with this woman? No, 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 Landon repeated, throwing up his hands. This isn't what you think. Oh, really? I yelled. I grabbed his phone off the coffee table, throwing it at his face. Then what are these messages? I miss you, Landon? What is this, Landon? Sienna continued to step back. I'm leaving, she said, shaking. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Door! I screamed. I shouted so hard my voice broke. You're not going anywhere. You were about to step over the threshold of this house. Into a married man's house. Why are you running away now? Sienna began, but I cut her off. Please. Please what? Do you understand me? You're with a married man. You knew that. Did he ever tell you about me? About our marriage? About our 7 years together? Or did you just not care? Tears began to stream down my cheeks. I couldn't hold them back anymore, but my voice was still strong. I was still angry. Landon walked over to me. Baby, please, don't touch me. I screamed. I raised my hand. Don't ever call me baby. Don't ever touch me again. Who do you think you are? Listen to me, Landon said. His voice was desperate. His eyes were filled with tears. This was a mistake. I swear. This was a mistake. I love you. You're the only one I have. Shut up, I yelled. My voice carried throughout the house. The neighbors could probably hear it. But I didn't care. I didn't care about anything. A mistake? A mistake? It's a mistake once, Landon. But how long were you with her? Huh? How long? Silence. A terrible, heavy silence. Landon couldn't answer. Sienna was still trembling in the doorway. Since what? I shouted again. 6 months, Landon whispered. His head was down. He couldn't look at her. 6 months. 6 months. My knees gave out. I held onto the wall. My chest was so tight I couldn't breathe. 6 months. I repeated. My voice was barely a whisper now. You lied to me for 6 months. You woke up next to me every morning for 6 months. You kissed me, hugged me, told me I love you for 6 months. And it was all real. Landon shouted. I really do love you. It was just a moment. A weakness. 6 months is a weakness? I screamed. 6 months? You deceived me every day. Every day. Every morning. Every noon. Every night. You lied to me. Then you met up with him. Then you came home and slept with me. How could you do that? She didn't answer. She was just crying. But her tears weren't easing my pain. They were only making me angrier. To Sienna. And you, I said. My voice was trembling but cold. When did you find out he was married? Sienna fell silent. She bowed her head. When? I screamed. From the beginning. He whispered. I'm sorry. Apologize? I said. I smiled, but the smile was filled with pain. Are you apologizing? You knew everything. And yet you came anyway. You texted her. You said, I miss you. You bravely, casually, tried to steal another woman's husband. And now you're apologizing. Shut up. I shouted. My control was completely gone now. You don't have the luxury of apologizing here. You're hypocritical, immoral. Don't blame him. Landon interjected. It was my fault. I started it. Silence. I turned to her. You're too late to apologize. You gave me 7 years. 7 years. And then you deceived me for 6 months. You're not my husband anymore. Silence. In a relationship, the most painful thing is when trust is broken. Betrayal isn't just an act. It's a heavy shadow cast over the most innocent of feelings. People are first surprised, then devastated, then they try to recover. Not every broken piece fits back together, but it gives them new strength. Because some pain doesn't consume a person, it forces them to be reborn. Landon's face fell. What are you saying? He whispered. I'm divorcing you, I said. My voice was calm now. Determined. My tears had stopped, because I had made up my mind. You're not welcome in this house anymore. Pack your things and leave. No. Landon pleaded. He fell to his knees. Please, no. I love you. We can fix this. Give us a chance. Please. Luck? I said. I looked down at him. I gave you 7 years of luck, Landon. You blew it in 6 months. Now you're out of luck. Sienna tried to walk towards the door. I'm going. Landon again. Because anything that happens from now on will be discussed in court. Is that clear? Sienna ran away. The click of her high heels echoed down the stairs. Her car started and she sped away. It was just Landon and I left. He was kneeling on the ground begging. I was standing, hard as stone. Please, Landon whispered. Please forgive me. I can't forgive, I said. Because you lied to me. You cheated on me. You caused me pain. And now I'm going to cause you pain too. Through legal means. The right means. You will leave this house. You will pack your things. And you will never come back. Landon buried his face in his hands. He was sobbing. But I didn't care about him anymore. Because he hadn't cared about me. For 6 months. I walked into the kitchen. I turned off the stove. The spaghetti was still boiling. I picked up the pot and dumped it in the trash. All of it, everything. Then I went into the bedroom. I opened Landon's closet. I started taking out his things. Shirts, pants, shoes. I piled them all on the floor. What are you doing? Landon shouted, looking through the door. I'm getting your things ready, I said calmly. Because you're not staying in this house tonight. This is my home too. Landon said. No, I said, turning to him. This isn't your home anymore. Because you left this house. 6 months ago, when you first texted that woman, you left this house, Landon. You just realized it today. And in that moment, I saw it. All hope faded from Landon's face. He understood. He realized he had truly lost. She packed her things. She filled a suitcase. She didn't say anything. She just cried, quietly. He stopped at the door. I'm really sorry, he said, turning away. I didn't answer. I just opened the door. I was waiting. He went out. He walked up the stairs. He got in his car. And he left. I closed the door. I locked it. I put the chains on. Then I collapsed to the floor. And I started to cry. This time out loud. This time with pain. Because when he left, the real pain began. My 7-year marriage ended with a single text message. I miss you. And I answered him. Come. He came. And everything changed. Sometimes a relationship begins to tire at a point where no one notices. Hearts stop beating in the same rhythm. Eyes no longer look in the same direction. And one day, a person awakens to an unexpected betrayal. All trust, all loyalty is suddenly shaken. But after the pain passes, what remains is a renewed sense of one's own worth. As the morning sun hit my face, my first thought was, this was a nightmare. But then I realized, I was sleeping on the living room floor. I noticed the suitcase was gone. I noticed Landon's scent was still in the house. And it all came flooding back. Everything that happened last night was real. I picked up my phone. 47 calls. 89 texts. All from Landon. Please talk to me. We can fix this. I love you. I'm sorry. Answer me, please. I didn't read any of it. I blocked his number, because if I heard his voice, maybe I'd weaken. Maybe I'd forgive him. And I shouldn't have done this to myself. I got up. I looked in the mirror. My eyes were swollen. My face was pale. My hair was a mess. I didn't recognize myself. But maybe that was a good thing. Because yesterday's me was dead. Now I had to be someone new. I took a shower. A long hot shower. I washed away my tears. I washed away my pain. Or at least I tried to. But some pain just wouldn't go away with water. I got dressed. I put on makeup. I fixed my hair. I looked in the mirror again. This time, I looked better, stronger, more determined. Because there was so much to do today. First, I had to find a lawyer. The best divorce lawyer. Because Landon shouldn't have anything to gain from me. He cheated on me. He betrayed me. He should have lost. I turned on my computer. I typed best divorce lawyer. A list appeared. I scanned it. I read the comments. Then one name caught my eye. Diana Rothwell. She was known as the queen of divorce lawyers. A 97% success rate. She defended her clients' rights to the very end. Perfect. I picked up the phone. I called. Rothwell Law Firm. How can I help you? Said the voice on the other end. Hello. I'd like to speak with Diana Rothwell. It's about her divorce case. Sure. Just a moment, please. The music played. I waited. My heart was beating rapidly. Because this was real. I was really getting divorced. I'm listening to Diana Rothwell. The woman's voice was strong, decisive, firm. Hello, Mrs. Rothwell. My name is. I'd like to consult with you about divorce proceedings. I struggled to say my name because once that happened, it would officially begin. I understand. What happened? Diana said. Her voice was softer now, but still professional. My husband cheated on me for 6 months with a coworker. He came to my house yesterday. I caught them. My words came out in gasps, because saying it out loud was like reliving it. I see, Diana said. And do you have proof? There are messages, there are phone records, and that woman came to my house yesterday. I saw it myself. Excellent. So you have concrete evidence. That makes our job easier. Now I have questions for you. Are you ready? Yes. For the next 30 minutes, Diana peppered me with questions. The length of our marriage, our assets, our joint assets, Landon's income, my income, the details of the infidelity. I told her everything. Let me tell you this, Diana said finally. In Turkey, infidelity is a major fault ground in divorce cases. In your case, your evidence is strong. You can prove Landon's infidelity. That's in your favor. You can demand compensation. If the house is in your name, we can evict Landon. He won't have to pay her alimony. The house is shared, I said. It's registered in both our names. I understand. Then the division will be made. But since you're the party at fault, the court may decide in your favor. Your share may be greater. Good, I said. I smiled for the first time that morning. When can we start? Today. You can come to my office. Let's prepare the lawsuit petition. I am coming. I hung up. I took a deep breath. This was really happening. 7 years of marriage were turning into a lawsuit. I grabbed my bag. I left the house. I got in my car. As I drove to Diana's office, I had only one thing on my mind: justice. The office was in a stylish building in the city center. I walked in. The receptionist greeted me. You, Mrs. Rothwell, you must have a 10 o'clock appointment. Come on in. They're waiting for you. I walked in. Diana Rothwell was sitting at her desk. A stylish woman in her 40s, she wore a gray suit. Her hair was in a bun. Her eyes were sharp and intelligent. "Welcome," he said, standing. "Please sit down." I sat down. I put my hands on my knees. I tried not to show my nervousness. "You listened to what I told you. Now let's get real," Diana said, opening a file. "Divorce proceedings aren't easy, especially cases like yours. It's emotionally draining. It can take a long time. But I'm here to fight for you. Is that clear?" "Understood," I said. My voice was firm. "I'm ready." "Good. Then let's get started." For the next 2 hours, I told her everything. Every detail. I showed her the messages. I told her about Sienna coming to my house. I told her about Landon's pleading, everything. Diana took notes. She asked questions. She devised strategies. "Let me tell you this," Diana said finally. "Landon will have a lawyer too. He will fight too. Maybe they will claim you were at fault. Maybe they will say you provoked him. You have to be prepared." "Did I provoke him?" I asked in surprise. "I didn't cheat on him. He cheated on me." "I know," Diana said calmly, "but lawyers will try anything. You need to be strong. You need to be calm. And you need to trust me." "I trust," I said, because I had no other choice. It was noon when I left the office. My stomach was growling, but I didn't feel like eating. I got in my car. I considered going home, but I knew I couldn't stand the emptiness of the house. I called my best friend, Tessa. I'd known her for 10 years. Since college, she knew everything about me. "Hello?" Tessa said. "Tessa, it's me," I said. My voice was starting to crack, because when I heard her, my walls came crumbling down. "What happened? Why are you talking like this?" He asked immediately. He was worried. "Landon cheated on me. He came to my house yesterday. I caught him. I'm getting a divorce." Silence. A long, heavy silence. "What?" Tessa screamed. "When? How? Who?" "Coworker, Sienna, for 6 months. She came to my house yesterday. I fired Landon. I met with the lawyer today." "Oh my God. Oh my God. Where are you?" "I'll be right back. I'm in the car. I don't know where to go. Come to my house. Now. You know my address. Come." "Okay." I hung up. I started the car. I drove off toward Tessa's house. When trust is broken between a couple, the world stops for a moment. The envisioned future, the promises made, the memories shared, all collapse simultaneously. But a person's heart is more resilient than one might think. It can bear even the most severe betrayal and forge a new path for itself. And in the end, it finds the power that heals every wound, a return to oneself. Tessa hugged me at the door, tight. I buried my head in her shoulder, and I started to cry. This time I couldn't help it, because I didn't have to be strong around Tessa. "Come on in," he said, pulling me in. "I'll make you some tea." We went into the living room. I collapsed on the couch. Tessa went into the kitchen. She made the tea. She came back. "Now tell me," he said, sitting down next to me. "Tell me everything." And I did. The phone message, my response, Sienna showing up, the confrontation at the door, firing Landon, everything. Tessa listened. Her mouth was open, her eyes wide. From time to time she muttered, "Unbelievable. Did you right come to him?" He said finally. "Yes," I said, because I wanted to know if it was real. And there you have it. It came. "You're amazing," Tessa said. She was smiling. "You're a true hero. Most women cry and scream but do nothing. But you trapped him. You fought back." "But what do I do now?" I said. 7 years of marriage are over, Tessa. 7 years. We had plans. We were going to have children. We were going to grow old together. And now everything is gone," Tessa said, taking my hand. "Not everything is gone, just the wrong person. You're still here. You're still strong. You're still standing. And you can start over." "How?" I asked, wiping away my tears. "How can I start over?" "First by getting yourself together. Then by giving that man what he deserved. In court. Then by living your life. A better life. A happier life." Maybe Tessa was right. Maybe I was still strong. But I didn't feel that way at the moment. That night, I stayed at Tessa's. We ate, talked, watched movies. Normal things. But there was a void inside me. An unfillable void. I returned home the next day. The house was still the same, but now it felt different. It was cold. It was empty. It was quiet. Landon's stuff, his shirts from his closet, his photos, his gifts. I put everything in boxes. I moved them to the basement because I didn't want to see them. Then the phone rang, a number I didn't recognize. Hello? Hello? Can I speak to Sienna? A male voice. Young. Concerned. I froze. Who are you looking for? I said. Sienna Harlow. She turned her phone off. I thought I might reach you. This is not Sienna's number. You have the wrong number. And I hung up. But my mind was stuck. Who was looking for Sienna? And why was I being associated with her? Then I realized, it's Landon's phone. Maybe Sienna gave Landon this number. Maybe they were still talking. I started to get angry. Again, because Landon was gone. But he was still interfering with my life. I called Diana. Hello, Diana. It's me again. I want to ask you something. Can we stop him from still talking to Sienna? Legally, no. They're adults. But if they're bothering us, we can get a restraining order. Are they bothering you? No, not yet. But it bothers me. I understand. If anything happens, let me know immediately. We will take the necessary steps. Okay, thanks. I hung up, but I wasn't comfortable because I didn't know what Landon would do. Would he try to come back? Would he try to talk me out of it? Or would he stay with Sienna? When night fell, there was a knock on the door. I got up. Who could it be? I walked to the door and looked through the peephole. Landon. My heart raced. Should I open the door? Or should I just ignore it? He knocked again. Please, Landon said. His voice was broken. Please open the door. I just want to talk. Get out of here, Landon. I shouted. I have nothing to talk to you about. Please, just 5 minutes. Then I'll leave. I swear. I paused. Maybe I should have listened. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe. No, I must not become weak. No, Landon. Get out of here. If you don't leave, I'm calling the police. I love you. Landon shouted. Please understand this. I love you. If you loved me, you wouldn't have cheated on me. I shouted back. If you loved me, you wouldn't have lied for 6 months. Go away, Landon. Go away and never come back. Silence. Then footsteps. Walking away. I walked away from the door. I sat on the floor. I buried my face in my hands. I started crying because it was so hard. It hurt so much. The next morning I received a call from Diana. I have good news, he said. I got a response from Landon's lawyer. They're offering a deal. A deal? I said. What kind of deal? They agreed to leave you half of the house. They agreed to share your joint assets equally. And they agreed to pay you 50,000 TL in non-pecuniary damages for betrayal. 50,000 TL. 7 years of marriage equaled 50,000 TL? I don't accept it, I said. It's not enough. Understandable, Diana said. Then we're going to court. We'll demand more. But know this, the litigation could be lengthy. It could take months, even years. Are you ready? I'm ready, I said. No matter how long it takes, Landon will get what he deserves. Good. Then we continue. The court process has begun. Petitions have been submitted. Responses have been received. A hearing date has been set. And in that process, I was changing too. I was stronger. I was more determined. I was more independent. I cut my hair. I tried a new style. I joined the gym. I started making time for myself. Because I realized I could live without Landon. Maybe I'd even be happier. Tessa was right. Life went on. And so did I. Betrayal is a pain that takes one's breath away. But within that pain lies something else. The possibility of starting over. In those moments when thoughts quiet down, one better understands what one's heart needs. One realizes that what one thought one had lost was actually a burden. And so, a new light begins to seep through the door one thought closed. But one day, something unexpected happened. A letter arrived in my mailbox. Handwritten. Handwriting I didn't recognize. I opened it. I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was doing. Landon lied to me. He told me your marriage was over. He said you were going through a divorce. He said you were with someone else. Like a fool, I believed him. But then I learned the truth. He still loved you. He was still with you. And I was just a toy. I caused you so much pain. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I wanted you to at least know. I'm not with Landon anymore. I've cut him out of my life. I recommend you do the same, because he's not a good person. He doesn't deserve you, Sienna. My hands shook as I read the letter. So Landon had lied to her too. So Sienna had been a victim too. But that didn't lessen my anger toward her. She still chose to be with a married man. Even after learning the truth, she continued. I tore up the letter. I threw it in the trash. Because an apology wasn't enough. It was too late. The day of the hearing arrived. I went to court with Diana. I was dressed formally. My hair tied up, my makeup light. I had to look strong. Landon was there too, with his lawyer. Tears welled up in his eyes when he saw me. But I didn't look at him, because he was nothing to me anymore. The trial began. Evidence was presented. Messages were read. Witnesses were heard. Even Tessa showed up. She testified on my behalf. Tessa said, "At least, I thought so." But then I found out Landon had been cheating on her for 6 months. That's unacceptable. That woman suffered. That woman still suffers. The judge listened. He took notes. He asked questions. Finally, the decision has been made. The court has ruled that Landon is the party at fault. The house will be shared equally. However, Landon will pay 100,000 TL in non-pecuniary damages. The decision is final. 100,000 TL. It was more than I expected. But was it still worth 7 years of pain? When I left the courthouse, Landon was waiting for me. "Can we talk?" he said. "No," I said. "We have nothing left to talk about. Please, just a minute." I stopped. I looked at him. "What do you want, Landon?" "I want to apologize to you. I really do. I made a terrible mistake. I lost you. And now I regret it. I regret it so much." "The time for regret is over, Landon," I said. "You lied to me for 6 months. You broke my trust. You broke my heart. And now you're apologizing to me? It's too late." "I know," Landon said. Tears were streaming down his cheeks. "But I want you to be happy. I want you to be okay. And if that means without me, then I'll accept it." For the first time that day, I felt sorry for Landon, because he had lost too. Maybe not as much as I had, but he had still lost. "I hope you're happy too, Landon," I said. "But not with me. Never with me again." And I walked away, for the last time, without looking back, because now I was starting a new life. A life without Landon. And maybe, just maybe, this life would be better. When I got home, the first thing I did was download all the photos. Every photo of me and Landon. I put them in a box. I moved them to the basement. Maybe I'd look at them someday. Maybe never. Then I picked up my phone and called Tessa. "It's over," I said. "The trial is over. I won." Tessa screamed. "I'm so proud of you. We have to celebrate. We're going out tonight." "Okay," I said, smiling. "Let's go out tonight." Because maybe it was time to celebrate. Maybe it was time to feel good. Maybe it was time to live. That night, Tessa and I went out. We went to a nice restaurant. We ate. We drank wine. We laughed. We had fun. And in that moment, I realized I was happy. For the first time in a long time, I was truly happy. Because I was free. Free from Landon. Free from lies. Free from betrayal. And this freedom was more valuable than anything else. 6 months later, I looked at myself in the mirror. My hair was longer. My eyes were brighter. I had a real smile on my face. This time, it wasn't fake. Today was a special day. Because today was the day I was going to start my new job. A new company. A new position. A new start. After the divorce was finalized, everything changed. We sold the house. I got my money back. I moved into a new apartment. It was smaller, but brighter. And most importantly, it was all mine. I used that money to invest in myself. I took courses. I earned certifications. I improved myself. And finally, I found my dream job. I hadn't heard from Landon. I had blocked his number. I had deleted him from social media. I had cut him out of my life. Completely. But I heard it through Tessa. Landon and Sienna's relationship was over. Sienna had left him. Now he was alone. He regretted it. But I didn't care. Because that was the past now. It was my past. On my way to work, I saw a cafe. I'd never noticed it before. It said New Beginnings Cafe. Ironic. I walked in. I ordered coffee. As I waited, I noticed a man sitting at the table next to me. He was working on his computer. He was concentrated. He wore glasses. He was handsome. At that very moment, he raised his head and our eyes met. He smiled. "Good morning," he said. "Good morning," I said back. My face flushed. I haven't been this moved by a man's smile in a long time. "This is the first time I've seen you here. Have you just arrived?" he asked. "Yeah, I just moved here." "Are you a regular here?" "Yeah, I come every morning. It's nice to have a coffee before work. By the way, I'm Ethan." "Me too." I paused. Even saying my name felt new, because I wasn't Landon's wife anymore. It was just me. "I'm getting a fresh start too." Ethan smiled. "New beginnings are beautiful. Trust me." My coffee arrived. I took it. "Nice meeting you, Ethan." "Good work," I said. "You too. Maybe we'll see each other again." "Maybe," I said and smiled. As I left the cafe, I felt strangely at peace, because talking to Ethan had reminded me of something. Life doesn't end. Even when relationships end, new people come along, new opportunities come along, new beginnings come along. When I arrived at work, my team greeted me warmly. They toured the office and introduced me. Everything was new. Everything was exciting. Tess at lunch. "How's it going?" he asked excitedly. "It's going great. The team is great. The work is great. And I met a guy today." "WHET?" Tessa screamed. "Who is this? Tell me." "We met at the cafe. His name is Ethan. He's a kind, smiling guy. We just talked, but I don't know." I felt something inside me. "This is amazing. You're really moving forward. I'm so happy for you." "Me too," I said, and I was really happy. When I returned home that evening, I went out onto the balcony. I watched the city. The lights were on. People were walking. Life went on. And I kept going. I picked up my phone. I looked through old photos, pictures of Landon and me, pictures of us looking happy. But I didn't feel pain anymore when I looked at them, only sadness, and maybe a little regret. But then I pressed the delete key. All of them, one by one, because I didn't want to carry the past. I just wanted to carry the future. As I lay in bed that night, I thought, what if I hadn't seen that message? What if I hadn't called Sienna? What if I hadn't fired Landon? Maybe we'd still be married. Maybe we'd still be pretending to be happy. Maybe we'd still be living a lie. But I chose the truth. Even if it hurt, I chose the truth. And now I was free. Truly free. I closed my eyes. I prepared for sleep. But one last thought crossed my mind. Sometimes the greatest betrayal brings you the greatest freedom. And maybe by cheating on me, Landon had actually given me the greatest gift of all, the opportunity to find myself. I smiled, in the dark alone, but happy, because now I knew I was strong, I was worthy, and I deserved love. Real love. And maybe, just maybe, this love would find me in an unexpected time, in an unexpected place. Maybe at a cafe, maybe with Ethan, maybe with someone else. But this time, with the right one. This time, with the real thing. This time, with the one who won't cheat on me. And with that thought, I fell asleep, peaceful, hopeful, ready. Because life went on, and I'm with him. Every betrayal reminds a person of their own worth even louder. While experiences leave a mark on the heart, these marks eventually become a source of strength. There's silence behind closed doors, but this silence isn't loneliness. It's the peace of those moments when a person rebuilds themselves. What remains is not trust, but the strength to rise again. As a story ends, a person begins to hear their own heart most deeply. The noises quiet down. The defenses slow down, the tone of the pain softens. And what remains is an inner voice that says, "I've gotten over this too." Closure sometimes comes with tears, sometimes with silent acceptance. But in every situation, a new path that carries one forward begins.